Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachab Kodesh. The honors under the elders, Apostle Great Millstone, the elders Great Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect. That's this year's servants of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, serve him in truth and sincerity. Yes, one brother Chayaba from ZMS Playing Devil's Camp, coming back with another lesson through Spirit. Yes, this lesson be based off this article from nationalnews.com, which is entitled, it says, President Trump announces new tariff rates to compete globally and rebuild American economy. Of course, as we know, Trump, aka Nero in reincarnation, he, of course, recently just got in office, and some of the things, of course, we heard about are, these tariffs. Of course, he started out with the deportations. Pretty much what he made promises that he would restore, the economy by tariffs. And of course, you have Elon Musk coming in with Doge and so on and so forth. To read the article, it says, and hey, at the end of the day, well, we understand, of course, what the scriptures are written and what they said or what they say will come to pass. Doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who, or pretty much who's in office, or who does this or who does that. At the end of the day, the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will be fulfilled, and you can't stop it. It says, in a move aimed at rebalancing international trade and restoring American economic power, President Donald Trump unveiled a comprehensive list of new tariff rates during a Rose Garden event on Wednesday. It says that an announcement which followed a background briefing by a senior White House official detailed reciprocal tariffs targeting nations that have historically imposed higher tariffs on U.S. goods or engaged in practices deemed harmful to American economic interests. So it says key points of the announcement: reciprocal tariffs. The Trump administration has set new tariff rates for numerous countries, significantly reducing the tariffs they impose on U.S. goods. It says, for instance, China's tariff on U.S. goods will drop from 67% to 34%, while the European Union rates will decrease from 39% to 20%. Yes, says, baseline tariff, a universal 10% tariff will be imposed on all imports starting April 5th, 2025 at 12:01 a.m. EDT. It says this baseline tariff will apply to all countries except those already subject to specific trade agreements or executive orders. It says, targeted tariffs, and pretty much, it's gonna, the worst offenders, or pretty much what the countries that are identified, it says as worst offenders will face higher in individualized tariffs. It says exemptions for Canada and Mexico. And hey, that's the point. At the end of the day, but doesn't matter what you do, ultimately you can't restore America, which of course is Babylon the Great according to the scriptures. Well, the fate of Babylon the Great is written within the scriptures of America, and what will happen to it. Of course, we know that this is the land of our captivity. When I say our, I'm referring to us Israelites, so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos. Of course, what the bulk of us got brought was, of course, from West Africa. The reason why we were in West Africa was because, of course, we fled from the Roman persecution during 70 AD. And the Northern Kingdom, of course, that was mainly the Southern Kingdom, but the Northern Kingdom, of course, they fled the Assyrian captivity onto the Americas. So what Esau, he conquered our people. Of course, he came to the Americas. He slaughtered the so-called Native Americans, Latinos, the Northern Kingdom of the nation of Israel. Well, he brought, he pretty much brought the slaves or what, pretty much the Southern Kingdom from West Africa onto America. What, he put us all in slavery and he conquered our people. And all the sins that Esau's doing, of course, around the world. Well, America is our main country that he uses to do his wickedness and his evil. Guess what? All that, Esau will have to pay for all of that. Babylon the Great will have to pay for all of that. So no, Yahweh Shemiel Shai has not forgotten anything, pretty much what this place has done. So it doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter if things look good for a little bit, which things are clearly more worse than ever. It doesn't matter if one part is pretty much one small part of America is patched up, so to speak. It doesn't matter. And again, hey, at the end of the day, nothing in America, ultimately what? By whole America cannot be healed, Babylon the Great. It says, Jeremiah chapter 51:9. And what, by the way, anything that's so-called, I guess, improved is again, it's only temporary. Because pretty much the end, the fate of America, of Babylon the Great, is destruction, according to the scriptures. So it says, Jeremiah chapter 51:7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, the nations have drunken of her wine. It says, therefore the nations are mad. Meaning what? The wine, meaning Babylon's wine, of course, being the philosophies of America, its ways. These other nations have taken of those ways. And what implemented them within their own countries and society. It says, yeah, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How will for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed? Yet if so she may be healed. It says, but what the point is, it says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. And that's the point. It says, yet how for take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. And the point is that she will not be healed, and that she will suddenly fall and be destroyed. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go up. It says, yeah, let us go up, or it's like it says, go everyone to his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the point. You can't heal Babylon. You can't heal what Yahweh Shemiel Shai has already said and what's already written. Or yeah, pretty much you can't stop what's prophecy. You can't stop what's prophesied. So yeah, the point is well, let's see. Skipping down, it says U.S. still faces higher tariffs from competing nations. While former President Donald Trump attempted to address trade imbalances with tariff increases, the reality is that the United States still faces significantly higher tariffs from other nations compared to what it imposes on them. This disparity highlights how other countries take advantage of the U.S. in global trade. Yeah, see? It says the current situation, China currently imposes a staggering 67% on U.S. goods, far exceeding the tariffs the U.S. applies to Chinese imports. Even with the new tariff reduction to 34%, it says the disparity remains substantial. Yeah, it goes in the European Union, Vietnam, Taiwan, Japan, India, South Korea, Thailand, Switzerland, Indonesia. Hey, what goes to show you that, again, America is losing its power by the second. So that's the point. It doesn't matter who's in office. Ultimately, Yahweh Shemiel Shai. Well, ultimately, again, things, the Lord has already said what's going to happen. Was written is already written, which is what? Babylon to be declining and declining until its downfall. Which is what? Its ultimate downfall is right around the corner, which is when this place will be destroyed by nuclear fire during World War III, because World War III is prophesied within the scriptures, and it will happen. This place will be destroyed, of course, because the Lord's going to raise up the spirit upon these other nations to shoot their nuclear missiles upon this land. And Yahweh Bashim Yashai will come back to deliver his elect, the elect Israelites, from that nuclear destruction, from Babylon and Great destruction. He's going to set up his righteous rulership. Also, he's going to be aiding by sending his chariots to emit high concentrated fire to aid into the destruction of Babylon the Great. So that's the point. This is the land of our captivity. Captivity, and Yahweh Bashim Yashai is going to deliver us, or from this land, just like how he delivered us from the land of Egypt. And after that, there's not going to be any more captivity. The Israelites will be in eternal power. Why? Because of course we're going to receive the new perfect body. So we're not going to have the ability to go off anymore. So yeah, that's our expectation. Our expectation isn't for America to get back, to what it once was. Our expectation is for this place to be destroyed, because we understand that this land is polluted. And ultimately, what's written is written, and this place will be destroyed. So that's our hope. So yeah, I believe that's a point. Lord's will, you will to the edified. Yahweh Bashim Yashai, Bashim Kakwa, Thumb. Shalom.